mast on this yacht. But the name of the yacht is what we would like to acknowledge. By the way, look at the yacht, there's a name written alongside. It's written in the Te Reo Paraha, because Te Reo Paraha is the Maori chief that is responsible for the haka. And if you'd like to go and look around Russell, you're wondering what activities is available for you, there is an information centre. It's probably the best place you can walk into, and it'll give you some sort of idea what activities in Russell is available. This is interesting. Some people think we have them in a cage. A lot of people ask me one time, we'll let the dolphins out of the cage. There's this idea that when we get out here and press the button, the cage opens, the dolphins will jump out and perform the haka. It doesn't work that way. If you have any questions, you can ask my crew. My crew are also qualified dolphinologists. Hold their breath for about 12 to 15 minutes. At the moment, we're 17.6 meters in depth. That's how deep it is. Eat about 7 to 8 kilos of fish per day. The type of fish they eat: kahawai, sea trout, snapper, teniki, jolly, dolphin, herrings, Dolphin kingfish. Okay, I hear a big blow out here to the right somewhere. Shows dolphins.
Oh yeah.
I think they have even right. Maybe for us. Oh, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is the baby.
Wow.
Containing babies. They have babies with them, are allowed to swim with them. Now, we've been having a high mortality of baby dolphins. They have been dying, they're not surviving, and nobody knows why.
Just continue my video, continue.
Here comes see how close they are. Look how big he is.
They've got names. Names are not given by their parents.
But they can see it.
To a place called Motukōkako, meaning island. The Cody's got 1. I've got about 10 of them.
How's this a baby?
The French with toasting technique. And somebody started to call it French toast. Now, I'm not very good at the names. Bring me the boy. Or Dolphin. So, anyway, their name is remained. Now, there's a guy called Scott Laughlin. By the name of Scott Laughlin. I think the book's only about $3, $50 or $4. Now, some of you folks might be interested in the book. Might be lots of names. Okay, if you're on the left-hand side, you're probably trying to see the dolphins. Apparently it's to do with the bone structure, mainly to do with the jawbone. So apparently that's the only difference between a dolphin and a porpoise. Dolphins have got the spindle gene, which is to do with emotions and empathy. The elephants have got it, some of the monkey family have got it, we've got it, and according to the scientists, the dolphins have got it as well. Rich milk too, the dolphins, they need the rich milk. And the reason why we're not allowed to interact with them for too long when they have calves with them is because they're constantly feeding all the time. And they need that milk for their immune system. Although we don't see it, but these guys are constantly feeding all the time.
Wow.
Look, we have to leave soon. We have Jula, if you like, or auntie. And the auntie, the midwife, and the doula will be very much involved from the beginning. She will actually help bring the baby to the surface for its first breath of air. And when the mum dies during the birth, the auntie, the midwife, or the doula will actually be able to produce milk so they can feed this calf. They don't seem to be traveling anywhere. They're just hanging out in this little spot. Why are they hanging out here? I don't really know. We'll have to ask them. But I'm assuming it's to do with either fishing or resting. Now, resting is quite interesting because when they rest, they cannot rest like you and I. They can't just close their eyes and start snoring and fall asleep. You know, they can't do that. They all drown. So what they do is they'll shut down half the electrical activity to one half of their brain. That's what they do. So they kidnap during the day and the night. There is no specific time when they sleep. So they could be resting as a possibility. They could be just resting in this area. Because they don't seem to be going far. They're really slow and just hanging close together. is a lovely name. Maori, Motu is Maori meaning island, and Arohia meaning love or to be desired. Motukōkako. There are also Kiwis that are released on this side of the island. They're all part of Project Island Song. Project Island Song was initiated over 10 years ago by the government with the intentions of eradicating all the pests on the island, being able to reintroduce all the native foods back to the area itself, and Kiwi was a part of that program. The Kiwis are asleep, they're nocturnal, that's why you can't see them. It has been placed here to commemorate Captain James Cook's arrival to this part of the world in 1769. This beach in front of us, just where that wharf is where he first got off his dinghy with all his few officers actually there, and the local Maori tribe had congregated on the beach. Experience with these kind of fantasies, dealt with it before, but it didn't go all according to plan. Eventually there was some sort of an argument on this beach here, and it's very much to do with the misunderstanding of each other's culture and protocol. He was quite impressed with Maori society. They were very organised. They had to be. That's how they survived for years. They had to be organised. And he also traded for fresh food and fresh water. 10 days on, Cook decided it was time to leave. I was going to go kayaking, and somebody's going to do a bit of work there on the beach with the little track there. That's how much the birds in the water, so they did it far away. And the transit of the planet Venus from Far East was the other objective at the start of the world. They found New Zealand, the northeast coast, the first sighting of this country from the never young lake sea further south. Very different. We will not be telling these stories, we will be telling different stories. But the weather, it also will come here to the bay. And he did indicate this was an ideal place for harbouring for boats. And he did put the Bay of Islands on the map as well, after Captain Cook boat study. With the missionaries, Reverend Samuel Marsden, and all what was required to establish the mission station here at the Bay of Islands as well. So that was the first naval ship after Captain Cook, 1769 and 1800, so arrived to the Bay of Islands. Now, as we're progressing on, this part of the island is called Twin Lagoons. There are 2 lagoons in front of us at each end of the beach, and perfect place for snorkeling without any restrictions, and we can use this place if we have a boat. And that's the reason why all these people are here this morning, all hanging out, enjoying Twin Lagoons. Elizabeth Robertson required a farmhand, somebody to help out. A young local Maori boy by the name of Makitu was employed. And Makitu was the son of a local Maori chief, so he was out here helping Elizabeth Robertson. And she also employed Thomas Bull. He was a stockman from Port Jackson in Sydney, Australia. The 2 men never got along well together, as Thomas Bull would give Makitu several severe beatings. So one day Makitu decided he had enough of these beatings, and he took the life of Thomas Bull. He won this Treaty of Waitangi, had been signed under British law in 1840, and Makitu had to stand trial. He was taken to Auckland and set trial for these murders. He's the first man to be trialed underneath British law in this country. He's also the first to be executed as well. He was hanged down in Queen Street down in Auckland. Okay, everybody give Kevin a wave. There he is to the left-hand side. Kevin is the caretaker on the island. Kevin is lovely wife Jan. This is their retirement job. Is to look after this property. They don't own the property, it belongs to Auckland business people, but they look after the place for them. A pretty cool job. What is required to be a caretaker? Well, first of all, you've got to be a couple. If you're a single person, they're not very interested in you. I think they become a bit concerned that you might get lonely out here around. We will receive unfriendly gestures. We'll receive the international salute. Somebody asked me who that super yacht belongs to back there. I'm not quite sure. There's a super yacht behind us. Sometimes we go and have a look at them and see who it is, but I guess they probably don't want to see us. It's probably the truth. They want to. I'm not sure who it belongs to, but it's behind there, and it's definitely a big one. I can tell you it belongs to someone with lots of money, more than any of us put together on board. So I don't really know who the super yacht belongs to, but this one here. According to my crew, was Tom Cruise. I thought it was a teenager. I thought he would be as big as I was. All of these super yachts come and visit us in the Bay of Islands. New Zealand has become a very popular destination for these big super yachts. We've had big ones come in all sorts, different types, different sizes, small, flash super. Looking for a bit of privacy there. Where are we? Some people are looking at their cruise map feeling a little bit confused. So if you're trying to figure out where we are, we're in the Bay of Islands. That's a good start. Officially, as we understand, there are 88 islands altogether, officially. To be considered as an island, it has to maintain some sort of vegetation, and it has to be above high water mark. So those are the criteria to be considered as an island. If it is above high water mark, it does not maintain any vegetation on it at all. It is then considered as a rock instead of an island. Now, we usually have them come every 7 to 8 weeks. We have the orcas come and visit. But you never know. Sometimes they turn around and then they come back. Sometimes they do that. They go south and they decide, well, there's a lot of food in the Bay of Islands, I'll go back up north. And then they'll come and hang around here for a couple of days. So you just never know. We might find a whale out there. If we do, it'll be a good bonus for the cruise, so just keep your eyes open. The passage in front of us is called the Albert Passage. Earns their name in 88 this morning, but it carries 230 passengers. And we are propeller boats, by the way, folks. Propeller. There are two 5-blade props with a diameter of 1.2 on each side of the back, spinning around. That's what they do. When I'm fishing with my friends, this is what we do: drink beers and tell lies. I think it's the pricing around about that range. That's probably good day's work if you catch a fish. And it has a beam out of the sea for about 40 kilometres, 40 k's. That's the distance of this light to be seen out at sea. Housekeepers within that time, and their duty was to look after themselves in the lighthouse. Gardens, animals, kids were running around, kids to learn by correspondence. And every now and again, the boat will come in and bring supplies, and the supplies would be assisted the railway track that would go all the way to the top. And it was the job of a horse called Toby. Toby was a draft horse. Toby would come downhill, and everything would go uphill. They usually dive in the cave. It's really rare that they dive in front of the hole on the left-hand side. Hole in the rock all the time. And being a local dive company, they should know. They should be organised as well. They should have a safety plan before they go diving. We have here today, and after all those years of wind, rain and erosion, it has carved this hole. And somebody woke up one morning and thought it would be a great idea to build a big boat, fill them up with people, take them around for a bit of a tiki tour, and when we get to the hole, see if we can take this big boat through the hole in the rock. Now, we're going to tell you the mythical stories the Maori people have about creation. Everybody has their own mythical stories, which is pretty cool. These are stories to justify our existence from different parts. He's going to give his passengers a headache, going round and round and round in circles. I don't know what he's doing. On some occasions, we actually can't go through, arrive in, it's very calm, and there are boats anchored all through the hole in the rock, and there's nothing we can do about it. Oh, there he is, he's gone. He must have heard us. Anyway, put your hands up if you want us to go through the hole. Usually a fair idea how these holes may form, and it's all due to the effects of wind, rain, and erosion. Dimensions of the archway is 16 metres across, 20 metres in airspace above, and 10 metres in water beneath. Down south, have a game of rugby, and then come back. Hoping, of course, that they win. Wow. But in the old days, they were very serious about this topic war, so they would paddle their waka or walk canoe through this archway. It was said that if a drop of water would land on one of the warriors or the canoe, the journey would be blessed. Some say it's hard luck.
Wow, look at this.
The island's 159 metres all the way to the island's made out of Jurassic brickwork. You can now land on top of this island by helicopter. Sits on the top, there's a landing pad right up the top. $375 to land on this island. Now, as we exit the area, if you're looking into the right-hand side, you notice this island has a hole in it on the top there to the right. Yeah. I think that one's a bit too high for us. We'll have to increase that one. Okay, some people are looking at me in a funny way. Okay, should I say, I wish I was 19 years old and still don't know what I know now. Put your hands up if you want me to go through the hole again.
Yay!
Thank you.
Hey, there's a lot of fish in front of us here to the right. Okay, if you're in the front there to the right, look down into the water, there's a lot of fish there. Crew and said, oh, do sharks in the Bay of Islands bite? And my crew said, no, they're vegetarians. There's a whale shark has been seen here in the last week or so, a week and a half. There was a whale shark seen here. They're the big ones with the white spots on them. I haven't seen them myself, but a couple of boats have seen them. And they've told me they've come across, they've had pictures to prove it, that they saw a whale shark. Just wait. I don't think I'll get you back on time, but we're going to start going back now. I didn't realise what the time was. But anyway, why are we in a rush?